Hi everyone, this is Pete here from Western Australia, and I'm here in my workshop today, my favorite place to be. And today I'd like to show you how to set up an American standard Stratocaster with a HSS configuration. That would be 2 single coils and a humbucker. There are lots of different styles of Fender pickup that you should be aware of. This is just a standard USA Strat, so these are going to be the measurements for this one. These are the measurements that I like to use when I'm setting up my guitars. So the very first thing you're going to need is some tools, and I'm using a real nifty little ruler here, which is pretty small, which is great to get into those nooks and crannies. It has measurements for US, that's to say imperial, and it also has metric as well. You'll need both of those measurements for today's setup. You also need some screwdrivers. I like to use, believe it or not, flat point screwdrivers, because I found that the Phillips, the cross points, can often chew the screw heads, and that's really annoying, especially on vintage guitars and things you don't want to damage. So I just have a couple of different types here, a slightly larger one, slightly smaller one. The humbucker has has 2 screw adjustments on the low E side to balance how much kind of sweep, I guess, you want of both pickups. Okay, and what else do we need? That's pretty much it. Let me just show you what I usually like to do. So when I'm measuring, I like to take the ruler and go behind the string from where I'm measuring. And this enables me to get a really clear measurement. You can really see it sticking up above or below the line there. You want to be quite accurate with this. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the neck pickup. And the neck pickup, the measurements I like to use, first of all, I'll start on the high E, would be 4/64 or 2/32. I like to use those measurements because it's a USA guitar and it kind of makes sense to me. So what you're going to do is get one finger and press down on the final fret of the high E string like this. Now get your little rule, and it's funny, isn't it? It's called a rule, not a ruler. I don't really understand that. But anyway, let's call it a rule today. The rule, I'm going to put that just behind the string here, and go to the top of the pole piece on the pickup here. So I'm going to have a little measure, and I can see this one looks about right, 4/64. So that's all good. I'm going to leave that one well alone. Now I'm going to go to the low E and do the same thing. I'm going to turn this around now and use 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters. Yeah, I can see I've set this one up quite well, so I'm just going to leave that one alone as well. Okay, now for the middle pickup, I'm going to give you a special adjustment which I like to use, and the reason I use this one is because, first of all, the pickup gets in the way, as a lot of Strat players will tell you. It kind of gets in the way of you picking, and that's not so cool. So what I like to do is measure on the high E side with the centimeter rule side, 3 centimeters, and I have that one just below. So in other words, it's slightly closer to the string than the other side, and the other measurement's going to be 3 centimeters again, but slightly above. So in other words, slightly away from the string, and that seems to work really well for me. It's a slightly lower sort of output, if you like, a little less attack, but it balances really well with the other pickups, and that works really well for me. Okay, if you have a Stratocaster that has another single coil here, all you do is adjust the same settings from the neck pickup to the bridge pickup. So basically, again, it would be, say this is a single coil, it would be 4/64 here and 2 here, 2 centimeters. So that's going to be from the top of the pole piece to the bottom of the string. Okay, I'm going to go to this humbucker now. With this humbucker, I've not had too many humbucking Strats, but this one I'm having a little bit of issue adjusting the balance of the pole pieces. But so these are a few things I've come to come to terms with. Is that on the pole pieces, some people say that it should be completely flat, and I've tried that and it doesn't work, because the D is very, very quiet and the G is very loud, and the B is pretty loud too. So here's some measurements that I've kind of come up with, which is a great starting point. So first of all, get all your pole pieces, kind of slightly above the top of the pickup. In fact, I can tell you what my measurements are right now. On the low E, I'm measuring from the bottom of the pickup to the top of the pole piece is 4/64 and a bit. I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, it's kind of like, like 4/64 and just above. So I'm using that as a sort of like a ballpark figure. The high E side was a little bit lower as well. And I noticed on the pole pieces here, this is also lower than the low E here as well. So it seems to me maybe there's a different sort of magnetic pull or the way they work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep this one kind of the same measurement, but just drop it down just a little bit. So it's gonna be basically 4/64 and just a smidge over that. And let's see how we go with that. Okay, let me just show you that diagram again, which I've just lost. Here we go. So here we go. And what I'm going to do is once I've set this completely flat, the way I do that is get the side of the ruler there, make sure the outside pole pieces are completely, where I want them to be basically. If you're not sure on yours, I'd set them basically the same. But for today, I'm going to basically have this one a little bit lower. And then put this across the top and then rock the ruler or the rule over the top like this and see if there's any rocking. And if there is, just get an adjuster. Try and use one that doesn't have a magnetic end to it. I think it affects the pickup a little bit. Not forever, but it definitely interferes with the magnetic pull for a while. So use one that's completely without magnetic end to it. And then you're just going to adjust it up and down to see how to basically to make this go completely flat. When this no longer rocks, then you're in the right position, and then you can adjust the pickups from there. Okay, so here's my measurements I've used today. So get your pole pieces flat using the ruler or the rule like this, and then adjust your D half a turn. So that would be basically from one side of the screwdriver or the end of the slot round like once. And a whole turn would be like from like 360, this would be 180. So go you want to go upwards with the D, 1/2 turn, and then with the G do the same thing, 1/2 turn downwards. So that's righty tighty lefty loosey. And then the B string I'm going to put down 1/4 turn. So that's just basically like from say 12 o'clock to what, like 3 o'clock. 1, 2, 3. I think that's right. I think I'm a bit dyslexic, so I think that's right. So 1/4 turn. And then from there, what I'll do is I'll play the guitar, see how the balance is, and then just adjust accordingly from that spot. It does feel different when it's clean and distorted as well, so do try both ways and see which one fits best for you. Okay, last thing finally, after all that, is when you're happy with the balance of the pole pieces, the measurements would be hold down the final fret on the high E, and it's going to be 4/64 for a Stratocaster like this, from the top of the pole piece to the bottom of the string. Do the same thing on the low E side, and that's going to be again 4/64. You can balance that later if you have thicker strings and stuff like that, but that works really well for me. One last thing as well is make sure your guitar is set up the way you like it before you adjust your pickups, and that makes a big difference as well. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm always here to help, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers, bye.